Hi people, it's me Anja. Welcome back to my channel and welcome to another new book tag. Today's book tag is a social media book tag. Nobody necessarily tagged me in this, and I'm not going to necessarily tag anybody else specifically, but I saw somebody do this in my subscription box and I thought it'd be a fun little tag to do. So here I am. And also, if you're watching this video, I've tagged you. So yeah, there you have it. Anyway, the first question is Twitter, favorite short book, and short in this question is under 200 to 300 pages. And typically, honestly, I don't read books that are under 300 pages because my preferred length for a book is over 450 pages. So yeah, although my first instinct to answer this question was to answer it with a middle grade book, and honestly, the middle grade books that I read are always over 300 pages. You know what I mean? So yeah, with that, I don't have an answer for the first question. The second question is Facebook. Name a book that everybody pressured you to read. There are honestly so many books out there that I probably wouldn't have read if it wasn't for the fear of FOMO, you know what I mean? So one book that I definitely wouldn't have read at the time of everybody else reading it, but it lived up to its hype, is definitely Cemetery Boys, written by Aiden Thomas. This book is absolutely so good. It's so wonderful, and I'm so excited for Lost in the Neverwoods. I think when you're watching this, it comes out today. I'm not completely sure. It comes out the 23rd of March, and I'm so excited. I'm filming this video on the 15th of March, in case you're wondering. But anyway, Cemetery Boys is such a good book. I definitely would have read this book eventually last year, but I don't think that I would have read it at the beginning of September when everybody else read it as well. You know what I mean? But anyway, it lived up to its hype and it's absolutely so good. So with that, I highly recommend it. So yeah, there's that. The third question is Tumblr. Name a book that you read before it was cool. So honestly, this book isn't really necessarily cool even yet right now, because even though it is gaining more popularity than it did when I read it, it's not gaining like as much popularity as I think that it absolutely deserves. You know what I mean? And the first book that comes to my mind is Ace of Shades, written by Amanda Foody. This book is gaining, I feel like, more popularity now that Amanda Foody has written more books, now that she's completed the series. But I think that it was definitely more underrated back when I read it when it first came out than it is now, but it still is really underrated even now, you know what I mean? I think that this trilogy deserves just as much hype as like A Court of Thorns and Roses and stuff like that. So yeah, it's so good, and I absolutely love it so much. It's YA fantasy, and Amanda Foody is so talented. The Accidental Apprentice, which is her middle grade debut, comes out next week, I think, and I'm so excited for it. But anyway, my answer is Ace of Shades. So yeah, there's that. The fourth question is Myspace. Name a book that you can't remember your thoughts of. There are so many books that I've read like before 2020 and even probably in 2020 that like I read and like I don't remember my thoughts of at all. But the first book that comes to mind is Crier's War, which honestly all I remember about this book is that it's a YA sapphic fantasy, and I think I picked it up because the cover looked cool and I thought, what the heck, what am I gonna lose? I lost like an hour and a half of my time because I don't remember anything about this book. I kept forgetting that she was writing a sequel. I think the sequel came out last year. I have no plans on reading it because I don't remember what happened in this book. I think I gave it like 3 stars. I can't even remember the characters' names. I can't even remember anything I enjoyed about this book. I must have enjoyed something about this book because I didn't DNF it and I don't regret reading it. It's just right now, like, I don't want to reread it. You know what I mean? So, yeah, there's that. The fifth question is Instagram. Name a book with a pretty cover. So, Crier's War does have a pretty cover, but unfortunately, like I said before, it's not as pretty on the inside. So, a book that has a pretty cover that's just as pretty on the inside is definitely the Starless Sea, written by Erin Morgenstern. This book is one of my favorites. It's absolutely so good. I typically don't read adult books that often, but I made an exception for this book because previously I really loved The Night Circus, which is Erin Morgenstern's previous book, and honestly, I think that The Night Circus is her debut book as well. But anyway, I made an exception, and the Starless Sea definitely lived up to my very high expectations for it. I had such high expectations because the Night Stalkers was absolutely so incredible, and the Starless Sea became one of my most favorite books for 2020 because it's absolutely so good. It's so incredible, and I really enjoyed it. And like I said, it's adult fantasy, and it's absolutely incredible. So yeah, there you have it. The next question is YouTube. Name a book that you think should be adapted to a film. So there are so many books out there that I think should be adapted to a film or a TV show or something like that. But honestly, there are also so many books that I don't trust film or TV show directors to actually like bring them to life. You know what I mean? Like typically I don't really trust film directors with like books that center on people of color or queer people or like any minorities. And honestly, the first book that came to mind is A Very Large Expanse of Sea, but then I remember that that book I think is already being adapted. I don't think the author has said anything about it, but I think that she said recently that she'll talk about that soon, so I'm very excited for that. But the last really good white Alice's Head book that I really enjoyed was probably Amelia Unabridged. That book was really good, and I really enjoyed it. And it's YA contemporary, and I just really liked it. So yeah, probably that one is my answer, because that book, like I said in my last book tag, I think, is one of my favorite books from February. So yeah, we love to see it. There you have it. The next question is Goodreads. Name a book that you would recommend to everybody. Honestly, I don't have the answer to this one. I don't like this question at all, because I don't have one specific book that I'd recommend to everybody, since everybody has different reading tastes. You know what I mean? So there's that. The next question is Skype. Name a book with characters you'd love to actually talk to, not just read about. I have so many characters that I can think of that I would love to just have a conversation with about anything. I would love to talk to Luna Lovegood because I love her so much. I would love to talk to Violet and Claus and Sunny Bondurale because I love them so much. But I don't know if any of them would love to also talk to me. You know what I mean? I'm not that cool. I mean, I am cool, don't get me wrong, but I'm not as cool as Luna or the Bondurale siblings. You know what I mean? Although nobody is. So I feel like I don't really have an answer for this one, because I have many fictional characters that I'd love to hang out with, like the people that I just mentioned, or the Six of Crows gang, or like Mal and Elena from Shadow and Bone, or like anybody from Shadow and Bone, like even like Juiced from Six of Crows, you know, like the very beginning of Six of Crows. Even though, wait, did he die in the prologue? He probably did, right? Anyway, I don't want to talk to a dead body. Never mind. Maybe I'll talk to Nina from Six of Crows. But anyway, I have so many answers because I have so many favorite books. So any person ever from any of my favorite books would also love to talk to me. So, you know what I mean? Like, we'd like to have a fun conversation, but it can't just be one-sided, you know? Like, they have to start the conversation, and then I reciprocate it, and then it goes back and forth. You know, I can't stand one-sided conversations, because then I don't know if, like, I'm the problem, or if they're the problem, or if I'm just too awkward and not as cool as them, so that it really wouldn't work. You know, I don't know why I'm saying this, when literally meeting fictional characters is a fantasy. So, like, in the fantasy, I would be just as cool as them. You know what I mean? Anyway, I've taken too long to answer this question, when the real answer is that I don't really have one, because clearly I'm overthinking this answer. So I'm just going to move on to the next question, which is Snapchat. Name a book that was pretty on the outside, but not on the inside. So I just mentioned Crier's War earlier. My camera is shaking so much, because that's what happens in book tags. So anyway, the first book that comes to mind is called We Set the Dark on Fire, and I don't remember what this book is about at all, except that it's another YA sapphic fantasy, and there's a sequel out, and I read the sequel too, but I also really don't remember what happened in the sequel either. So there's that. I think this book is also Latinx, but like I said, I really don't remember anything about this book at all, except that it's YA sapphic fantasy, and yeah, there's that. There you have it. The last question is Pinterest. Name a book that taught you something. I would say that the last book that taught me something that I can think of is Punching the Ale, because that's a book that I can't stop thinking about. Punching the Ale is one of my favorite books of 2020. It was absolutely so good, and it's YA contemporary, and it's about a young black Muslim boy who gets wrongfully incarcerated. And I think this book is absolutely incredible, and it's so timely, and it's absolutely so important and wonderful and lovely. You know what I mean? And it's absolutely so good. It's absolutely worth the type, like Cemetery Boys, and it's absolutely so incredible. So yeah, with that, that's the end of the social media book tag. If you enjoyed this video, don't hesitate to give it a big thumbs up. Comment down below the pizza emoji. We love to see it. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to my channel if you're new. Thanks for watching. I already said that. And I'll see you in my next video.